Hi everyone and welcome to Choice the Liberator Summit, and I am so happy I've got with me Vanitha Subramaniam. Hi Vanitha.
Hi, and hi everyone, whoever's joining us and will join us.
In the future. So my whole Access journey started with Vanitha, so this is really special to have you again with me on the call today. Welcome to the call, Vanitha.
Thank you so much, Nilofer. I'm really feel so privileged to be on this call with you today and speaking about a subject that's really dear to my heart. So I'm excited. I've been excited all day, actually. How does it get any better than that?
How does it get any better than that? So, what I am really looking forward to is to hear about leadership and, to kind of look at leadership from, a point of view of access. So, what is leadership mean? What does leadership mean?
Wow. When you said from the point of view access, and I went, whoa, okay. Whew, it's very simple in access, actually. Gary always talks about leadership as not about creating leaders, but about, I'm sorry, not about creating followers, but creating leaders. And for me personally, all my life, my whole world has been about leadership. Though you know how you sort of choose things in life and you don't really define it as leadership. But I tell you, everything about me sometimes feels like it's all been planned, by some higher force or something. Because my first time I've ever been invited to a leadership conference was, how they say things happen and it just happened, and you have no control of it. And I got called up at university, and they said, "Hey, Vanita, would you like to go for a leadership conference?" I was like, "Yeah, cool." I was like, "Me? Out of everybody on campus, you have invited me?" I was like, "Okay, cool. Where is it?" "Oh, it's in your own home country," because I was studying in New Zealand at the time. "And we'll pay your air ticket, we'll give you money, pocket money. You even get to see your family. So would you like to go?" And I said, "Yeah, cool, I'll go." And so I went, and then it was actually the Southeast Asian Students Leadership Conference, and they invited New Zealand, Australia, and Japan to participate. And they put the New Zealand flag in front of me, and I went, "Holy shit! Am I actually representing the country?" It was like it completely changed my reality, and I was thinking, wow. And I knew, right then that this was going to prepare me for something far more. And then I ended up in the UN not long after, fighting for women's rights and young people's rights and having a ball of my life. And so everything that I did was actually about choice, and that's what Access talks about. It's about choosing, to go no matter whether anybody follows you or not. And that's the best way to say how Access defines leadership, is that you're willing to be whatever it takes, no matter who follows you or not, no matter whether there's somebody else behind you. And this is why today I wanted to talk about, being a leader, being your own best friend, because we always kind of, since we were kids, we always kind of wanted to hold our best friend's hand, or "You want to go with me to the toilet?" Do you remember that, doing that in your primary school? Or "Do you want to go with me to the canteen?" And it's always like taking along your best friend, right? Or "You want to go to the movies with me?" I mean, how many people do you know go to the movies on your own?
Ah,
I do.
yeah. Oh my God.
And that's only
Yeah.
because I love my own company, okay? So there you go.
Yeah.
Ah,
I mean, really, we are always looking to have somebody along with us, and it's so rarely that you actually step into. And what I realize is that since I've actually come into Access, it's I'm choosing to make choices more and more just because I enjoy them, and I don't need to have anyone around me.
yeah,
So,
true.
so,
I,
so, what is being a leader actually? You said something like,
well,
being willing to go whatever it takes, but being willing to go where?
sorry, honey, you were breaking up. I didn't hear you. You gotta
So,
remember, I'm in Bangalore. The internet's not very good.
okay.
Yeah.
So,
What was your question?
what is being a leader?
Okay, so what is being a leader? So can I ask you the same question? What does being a leader mean to you? And I think it's a question that every one of us need to sort of ask ourselves because, one of the tools in Access, the very first tool that you ever learned in any class is about being in the question, right? So when you ask the question, what does being a leader mean to me? And if you can destroy and uncreate everything that starts to show up, then you begin to get a sense of what being a leader truly means for you. Does that make sense? Like for me
It is.
personally, being a leader means having the courage and the choice and being inspired every single moment to create whatever that's required or whatever that I would like to create in my life. For me, being a leader is being an inspiration because I look around. I mean, I grew up with very little inspiration. Did you have any inspiration when you were growing up? So I
No.
was always, yeah, no. It's like we look at the kids out there, we expect so much out of our kids, but there's no one there to inspire them and say, hey, you can choose this, and you can choose that, and you can choose a multiple menu of choices available to you. But that's not enough inspiration in the world. I mean, we do have some phenomenal leaders. We have one who recently passed away, it's Marianne Williamson. She wrote that beautiful thing about, where you're not willing to be the light that shines upon the world. Do you remember the one where how um you would
Marianne
not create?
Williamson has passed
Was it
away.
her? Isn't that
No.
her, or was it somebody else who passed away?
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's somebody
somebody.
else.
Yeah, somebody big. I mean, don't ask me about names, okay? I suck with names. But, there are people who speak about this, right? I mean, personally for me, I get a lot of clients who come to me and they talk about wanting to be successful. And somebody who wants to be successful, you have to be willing to be a leader. True? You cannot be successful if you're not willing to be a leader of your own life. So a lot of these people, I ask them a question. So how successful would you like to be? And they say, oh, I like to be as successful as Richard Branson, the guy who owns Virgin Airlines. And I was like, okay, cool. Right, are you willing to be seen and to be heard? And they go, what do you mean? Well, being seen and being heard, because you cannot be successful behind your barriers, correct? How can you be successful behind barriers? Because when you walk around with all your barriers up, right up to here, no one could actually, you know, be in communicate with you, and have an interaction with you because all they get are your barriers up. So you have to be willing to push all your barriers right down. There's this beautiful tool in Access. It's literally putting your hands up in the air and pushing all the barriers down to the ground to the cute little toes, right down. And then you get a sense of like, whew, no barriers. And what happens is you begin to actually be present, and you begin to have a sense of possibilities and sense of awareness and sense of choice and sense of courage, because so many people are afraid. When I ask them, what is it that you're afraid of? I don't know. All I know is I'm afraid. So what are you afraid of? What if you could not be afraid and create a different reality? We know what Access says about fear, right? That fear one is a distractor implants. So, okay, let's do some clearing. So everything underneath those distractor implants of fear, can we please destroy and uncreate it all? Yes?
Yes.
Right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, get rid of that. And then the second one. 98% of our thoughts, our feelings, and emotions don't belong to us. So we've got this phenomenal tool. Who does this belong to? So what if 98% of what you feel, which is fear, is not even yours? Okay, cool. What about all those times you were sitting in a room and you wanted to speak out, but all you could sense is everybody's fear about speaking out? So what you do, you almost take your whole infinite being and the vibration that you be, and you really make it small and, really contract yourself so you fit in with all those people who are all sitting right next to you in fear. So everywhere that's been your functional reality, come and please destroy and uncreate that and return all of it back to sender with consciousness attached. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Cool. Right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Ha! What was the other thing about fear? When's a distracting plan? Who does this belong to? And it's always a lie, spoken or unspoken. So all the lies, spoken and unspoken, and it's all that fear. Everywhere you took it from somebody else, where you destroy and uncreate at all times, a godzillion.
Yes, 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 yes.
Thank you. Right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. You know, truly, I personally think my point of view is that the recipe for leadership is courage. And the recipe for leadership is choice. And the recipe for leadership is the willingness to be seen and heard, no matter what that looks like. And the only way you can have this beautiful concoction that creates this amazing sense of a leader in yourself is when you come out of judgment. That's the biggest barrier. Self-judgment, right?
And then the self-judgment is like the biggest thing which is there. And the other thing, as you're saying, I'm really aware of is leadership is really just being you and more of you, of who you really
Yes.
are.
Yes. I mean, like, you know, Mahatma Gandhi talked about it. Be the change that you would like to see in the world. And everybody had it as a caption on their emails. So did I, you know, for a long time. I like, be the change you like to see in the world. Well, what does that mean? What does it truly mean? Is it about running out there and doing something? Or is it really truly about being? And Dr. Dane here wrote that book, Being You and Changing the World. At the end of the day, if you were willing to be you, no matter what that looked like, with courage, because it takes a lot of courage to be a leader, and the willingness to go where nobody follows, that's truly actually functioning from a kingdom of we. See, the kingdom of we talk about that, right, in Access. What is the kingdom of we, and what is the kingdom of me? Now, from the sense of leadership, kingdom of we is where we're not willing to have any followers. We're not creating any followers. In the kingdom of we, every one of us are stepping up and being willing to be the courage, the choice, the possibility, the question, and the contribution that we can be and receive from one another. The kingdom of me is where you're not willing to, you know, you are inclusive. Actually, you are not inclusive of everybody else, and you're wanting to create followers. I mean, you know, it's like Dane was talking about it recently. You know how Facebook and Twitter, you know, people think that the value of them is based on how many likes they get. You know, whoa, you know, I have 2,000 followers on Twitter. Woohoo, you know, I'm a leader. Seriously? No, I don't think that's the definition of true leadership. You know, true leadership is not about having to go out there and proclaim to the world, hey, look, me, leader, you, follower, follow me. You know, it doesn't work like that. And I think we're seeing the breakdown of that reality more and more was even in organizations and corporates, you know, with change management processes is no longer working in that line. You know, no longer is the top-down approach, you know, I'm the CEO and therefore you listen to me. And, you know, it's not working anymore because every person is a contribution. Every person is a contribution. If you're willing to look at every person's contribution and be willing to receive that contribution, then that makes us an invitation to more people stepping up and being themselves. I think that's true leadership.
Yeah, and you know, like since yesterday, I'm just so aware of, you know, how we come to conclusions and we actually stop receiving contribution from every person. So we'll have a point of view about them, and we will have a point of view about the choices that they are making. And it's so insidious. You just throw up these barriers and you're not receiving it anymore. So yeah, thank you for that. Vanitha,
Yeah.
you also speak about being born to the greatness of your embodiment.
Yeah.
Can you talk
Oh
more
yeah,
about
all the time, right? Okay, cool. It's one of my favorite topics. I always seem to open every class. You remember, right? My first class was about that. You see, for me, one of the gifts that I got from Access when I first came was this, just the validation that I've always known all my life since I was little, that every one of us were born to the greatness of embodiment. It's like here we are in this, if we were a star against the infinite canopy of the universe, okay? Every one of us are a star. And for the universe to really be in its phenomenal glory, in its moment of creation and destruction and inspiration, that every one of us as a star has to shine, right? We can't just like one of us go dim our star, dim our light, and let the rest of them shine, because every light will also get dimmer. And this is the whole concept of Kingdom of We. So I truly believe that we're all born to the greatness of our embodiment. Like we all are. We're born to shine the brightest when we come on this planet. And what if that is what keeps the planet alive and keeps the planet going, and that's the contribution to that whole living and orgasmicness of this planet? But every time we come to into this world, we look at everybody else around us, and no one wants to shine. Everyone's looking at everybody else. It's almost like we're all looking for is it okay for me to step up? Or no, it's not. Okay, you know what? I'll just, dim my light. And so how much are you really creating your life, or are you destroying you? What if you are born to the greatness of your embodiment? And what does that look like? And what if it's different from everyone else, for each one of us? But if all of us were willing to shine, would we be the brightest star in the whole universe? I always say this in my class. Will you stop? There's so many people go like, oh, why God? Why me? Why does my life suck? And so if you want to be seen and heard, damn it, you got to shine, for God's sake. So, you're not the only being in body on a planet in this galaxy. I mean, get over the point of view. You've been in so many different planets and all across the universe, right? We all are. We've got that sense. So that's what I talk about in terms of being born to the greatness of your embodiment. And the other thing that I also always say is that what if you are, what if you're on a boat? I talk about, those in years and years ago where people discovered countries and they pioneered, they went on uncharted courses. Nobody gave them a chart and said, hey, Nilofer, this is how you go and this is how you'll discover South America. That never happened, right? So what if life is all about that? What if life is all about, what you call it, coming across a few obstacles, having the tools, okay, bummer, I hit a sand dune, okay, I'll use some tools and ask, like, how does it get any better than this? What would it take for, the water to rise so that my boat can keep going? And what if life is about charting your own course? I'm really apologize. The phone is ringing in the hotel room, which it shouldn't be.
Do you
So
want
what if that's
to
what?
go?
No, yeah, it will go up on its own. We'll put an energetic block on the phone. So what if that's what life is about? I think we all need to know that we're adventurous. Let's have an adventure with life, Nilofer. I mean, how many of us know what the hell is going to happen in the future? We just recently had a class I'm co-facilitating with the amazing Aditi Surti in Mumbai. We were doing foundation at level 1. And this woman in class asked me this question. She's like, oh, can you please tell me how is this going to show up in my life? Then I'll know what to choose. And I said, really? I said, wait, let me look for my crystal ball. Oh, bugger, I don't actually have one. I was like, how am I supposed to know what is going to show up? But how many of us have been looking for the answers continuously, as if someone else has the answer that's going to validate what we already decided and concluded and judged that we really want? So everywhere everyone else has been doing that, can we please destroy and uncreate at all times to God's will? Yes? Okay, right or wrong, good and bad,
Yes.
pot and pock, all night shows, boys and beyonds. I mean, what if we are all here to have an adventure with life? It's not about defining ourselves as, oh, I'm a leader, you know, you're a follower, I am this, I am that. What if all the definitions were irrelevant? It's not about even defining yourself as a leader. It's about being a leader. Okay, 2 seconds. Can I just run and tell them to piss off? Just
Yes.
2 seconds. I'll be back.
How does it get any better than that? So if you're listening to us live, please do send in your questions. Just taking calls in just a few moments.
Okay, cool. So I've taken the phone off the hook. How does it get any better? I'm sorry about that, everyone. Okay, cool.
How does it get any
So where
better than
was
that?
I?
So Vanitha, what I actually wanted to ask you was something to do with, shining your light. And what happens is we look at some person, who's being that, and who's shining their light, and we go, oh, I want to be just like them. We literally want to duplicate that. And it's almost like,
Yeah.
we would like us to create ourselves as that, and we would like people to validate us and to approve of us, and all of that. Can you talk a little bit about that, because I think that's a really important part of the process.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very, you're very right. Again, it goes back to that whole thing of where, it's almost like people are not willing to just be. So when they're not willing to just be, excuse me, what happens is that they're constantly looking for validation, whether they're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. Are they being the quote unquote the right leader, or quote unquote the right follower, or quote unquote do you approve of me? So where are we all looking for approval? So everywhere we are looking for approval, as if by getting the approval, it gives us the permission to step up and be us, but we never get the approval because everybody else is walking around with their own judgment about themselves. Can we please destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion, please? Yes?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
whew, right or wrong, good and bad. Put a puck all nice shots, boys and girls. I remember once hearing Gary talk about being an opinion leader. And I really liked the sense of that. What does an opinion leader mean? An opinion leader is who is willing for people to ask them, hey, what is it about you and what you do so fantastic, right? Instead of going around looking at what is so wrong about them, because I think most of us walk around almost have this sense of, oh my God, there's something must be wrong with me because I'm not measuring up to that person. I mean, we see this even in Access among all the facilitators. Everyone's like measuring against somebody. Most people measure themselves against Gary and Dane. And I remember when I first came to Access, Gary actually said, please don't measure against me. Don't measure against Dane. Don't try to be like us when you're facilitating. Outcreate us. We will be the most happiest people in the world. But when you be you and you find what works for you, then what happens is you create a different reality for yourself. It's not about us trying to create what somebody else is creating. It's about sometimes you have to really completely almost like block out all of that stuff that's going on out there. And one of the ways to do this as a tool, which I've been teaching a lot in my classes, which I would use this for myself, is how much space can my body and I occupy to have total ease with all of this? Because as you step into more awareness, if you do these classes, you become more aware. It's also a very fine line between what your awareness is and what you think it's yours. Does that make sense? So like you become aware of where other people are functioning, but just because you think it, just because you feel it, just because you can emote it, it doesn't mean it's yours. So it's almost like a reminder, hey, is this my awareness or is this mine? Am I judging or am I being aware? So all of these tools, all these questions starts to create greater awareness. So when you become an opinion leader, you're not creating followers. It's not about actually stepping into this whole concept of superiority. It's not like, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me, me. I'm an opinion leader. No, it's about willing to have the courage to say what works for you, but never expecting other people to follow you. Never expecting someone else to do what you do. No, I don't think that's leadership. It may be leadership in this reality, how it's defined, but it's not the kind of leadership we're looking for. And I think the world is requiring a different kind of leadership now. Wouldn't you agree, Nilofer?
It is.
It's like,
It is, and I see like people who come to Access, they come to a bars class, then they come and do the core classes, and they are choosing and they're becoming more and more and more of them. And it's like, wow, what an inspiration you are just by being who you be. When you allow all that thing, that thing which you think is creating you as a pile of shit, when you kind of just let go of all that stuff, and you're just willing to be
yeah,
you more and more and more. It's like people are becoming leaders, and it's so amazing to watch, the journey that people are taking. So I
yeah,
just feel so.
exactly. Exactly, and all of you guys out there who have done these classes, the bars, the foundation, and level one, you don't get to see how much you guys do change. We do. We who facilitate these classes. Sometimes I always say you almost have to take a before and after photo because it's a physical transformation, not even the rest of the transformation is so amazing. And it's almost like they step out and their whole being is just shine and the shiny. The shiny. You get to be the shiny. The shine. And it's so easy because all you're doing is choosing you. So what if the shine we're talking about is every time you choose you, you shine a little bit more brighter. Now I had this guy once who came for a session with me that one of these ladies brought back in Malaysia, and I was like working with him, and he was one of these guys who actually was in the first Malaysia what's that singing contest, the American Idol, Malaysian Idol, yeah.
Mhm.
So he didn't get through. He was an amazing humanoid, and he didn't win. He came out like the first runner-up or something, but he could not do any singing for 10 years. So, and he was like really stuck. Can you imagine? 10 years, his whole career. He just couldn't bring himself. He just felt that he was horrible. He was useless. He made himself so wrong. So, what I said to him? I said, you know what? What if that was just not you? Everything you perceived was just judgments that were impelled on you. What if that wasn't about you? That was about everybody else who was in the audience judging you because it's a competition. You know, you are going to people are choosing you over someone else. I said, when you just destroy and create everywhere, you made yourself wrong, and bought those judgments. And he just like immediately he said to me, "Oh my God, I can't see you. You're too bright. I need my sunglasses." I was like, "That was it me or was it him?"
Mm.
Isn't it just amazing? And today he's singing again, which is wow. What if it's so simple? This is why I love access tools and information and processes because it's so simple. It's easy. There's nothing out there. It's easy. And trust me, clinical psychologists, at a master's level, I know what I'm talking about. Everything else is so difficult sitting with someone and having to look at their crap and their shit like you talked about earlier. But access, like, oh, you fuck up all your shit and it's gone, right? I mean, what else? How does it get any better than that?
How does it? So, Vanita, we have a bunch of questions. Let me
Oh,
ask
good.
you one. So, hi, as I'm letting go of mimicry, at times it's strange when I ask me what would I choose here. It's so different than all my life till now. The question is, I hired a team and asked their energy to contribute to the project with the best of their skills, and then I focused on my part only. But in the end, it turned out that it didn't do good work at all. They just did time's job. I have seen magic with this tool, but this time it didn't work. Problem is now I
Mm-hmm.
have to do all of this again. What to do in this situation, and asking the question didn't help. That's so weird. Please help how to be the leader in this situation. And then there's another one, but talk about this first.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much for your question. Um, how could you have done this differently? What if it's not about the question that you asked, but it was about where you went into a conclusion. So the conclusion
It
here was
didn't
that there
work.
was almost a sense, yeah, that it didn't work, number one, and that a sense of separation that got created, because that was the energy that I got, that everybody was working in silos. So everywhere you think that's a contribution, and that you don't have to, it's almost you don't have to contribute your energy to all those people, even though they had their various tasks at hand. Will you destroy and create at all times? So Godzilla, please.
Yes.
Ooh, okay, right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all night shows, boys, miss. You know, for me personally, I've managed really huge project teams. It's been one of my strengths in project management. I've even managed 15 different organizations and got a project out together. And the best that I got out of people, and this is organizations and had a history of never working together. This is one of my past jobs that I did before I came to Access. What I found was when you are inclusive of people, where you invite people to contribute their ideas and continue to keep the conversation going on, and where it's almost like you're also doing a bit of conflict management in the process, because you're also you can poke and pod, you got the tools, poke and pod where it's not working, and keep asking, what else is possible, what else do you know, and what if you know, what do you know that you're pretending not to know, that if you allowed yourself to know it, would change your reality and our reality, and actually contribute to this project. And it's not about, it doesn't become your project, that's the other part of it. It becomes a project that everybody has ownership over. Because when you empower people and you allow them to be empowered in return, because they have a sense of ownership, then it's a different contribution altogether. And that's what I'm getting as a sense of energy that you could probably try differently next time. Does that help, or do you have another question that you would like to ask following that? More than
Yeah,
welcome to ask
yeah,
it.
just send in a question or a comment about this. And then there's this other part of the question is also please talk about the tools for working with smokers and addicts. If they are in the team, how do you get the best out of them without the side effects of feeling drained, etc.?
Okay, cool. Thank you for that one, because, anti-smoker here, anti-tobacco control, even got a blacklisted on the tobacco companies. Okay, so I know a lot about people who smoke. Okay, two things. Everybody has choice, so you cannot take choice away from people, and everyone's always defending for and against, right? So if you went up to a smoker and said, oh, I don't like you participating because, your smoke is, affecting everyone, and can you stop smoking in the process, they are not going to take that lightly. They're going to feel offended and they're going to react. So that's not going to work. So what you need to do is, okay, how can you approach this differently? That was my colleague, by the way. So by asking a question. So how can you approach this differently? By asking, say, hey, what is going to create more ease for you guys? Do you have to smoke? Well, okay, here you go. Where have you made smoking so significant? Oh, that would be a good place to start. Everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Yes? Yeah. Wow, right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shows about it. So all of us who can't take people who smoke, where have you made them so significant? Where have you made your body being affected by the cigarette smoke significant? And all of that will you destroy and uncreate at all times to Godzilla, please? Yes? Yeah. Thank you. Right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock. Ooh, wow, all that shots, boys and beyond. So see where your judgments about people who smoke sit. So you talk about all your judgments. Because if you got a group of people who actually are smokers, then you have to also talk about your judgments about them and their behavior and what their addiction is. Okay, number one. Number two, then also teach people to expand the energy space and consciousness of their body so that the body has more ease. What I found was a lot of people who actually, like, for instance, I had a guy who was smoking in foundation level 1 in my class, and every time he went out to smoke, it was because he stepped into so much space that he had this almost like this, this need to create density in himself again. So he'll go and he said, "Oh my God, can I please go and have a smoke? I don't have a point of view." Okay, go. And every time he came back, he became more. It's almost like he created more density and solidity in his universe. And so until he came to his own awareness of his own behavior, which he did eventually, that's the only place that you can allow them, to have the choice, because where you're not willing to be an allowance of people who smoke. I hope that helps. I never thought I would say that, being an anti-smoker myself, but, what if we can be an allowance and, have the ease? And also, what if you're smart enough to poke and bother all the chemical composition that nicotine is creating in their bodies and making them smoke? What if you could do that while, so that the need for them to run out and smoke all the time is not there? Yeah.
Yeah. So that sounds really sneaky. Vanitha, can you repeat that again?
Oh, I thought I would inject that really fast, and so that people get that really fast. So, what I'm saying, that okay. So what is a leader? A leader is willing to be everything, correct? Everything with no point of view. I'm also willing to poke and pot everywhere that nicotine is creating that addiction in their body. So all the chemical compositions of nicotine, right, that is making them smoke, destroy and uncreate it all, times the godzillion, right or wrong, good and bad, pot and puck, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. There you go. Done.
And the other thing about smokers is, like, how many people are actually projecting at them, and how much are you aware of those projections? And you think, oh my God, I don't want this, kind of. So you could also destroy the projections, expectations over there as well.
Exactly. And also, okay, so all your projections, expectations, rejections, separation, judgments, and conclusions about what a leader is, what a leader must do, or how a leader must be seen, how a leader must speak, how a leader must talk, communicate, and everything else will you destroy and uncreate at all times, the godzillion, yeah?
Yes, yes.
Right or wrong, good and bad, pot and puck, all 9 shots of poison. Because I always say this to people, please don't try to be like me. Don't try to be like Gary. Don't try to be like Dane. Don't try to be like all the access facilitators that you did classes with, because every one of us are unique, and you have to find what your uniqueness is. I always say every person who comes to access to any classes are like an uncut diamond. It's almost like the classes, as she gets to polish them, and they get to step up, and that's why they shine, right, really, after foundation level 1, and more so after 2 and 3, and it carries on depending on all the classes that they do. You become that real, clear, beautiful hope, diamond of this reality, really.
Yeah.
How does it get any better than that?
How does it? Another one. Hi, Vanitha and Nilofer. I teach and people ask me questions looking for answers. I like sharing what I know, yet I would like to empower them. How do I teach, which is giving them information and empower them to know what they know? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that question. The easiest way to do is, number 1, only speak to what they can hear. Not everyone's able to receive. Receiving is a huge thing. Sometimes we have all this awareness, like, oh my God, I'm so aware, I can say this, I can say that, I can say everything. But not everyone is willing to receive. So one of the best questions that you could probably use all the time is, what information do I require here? What can I speak to that this person can receive? And what you will find automatically is that you will speak to what they can hear. And they will go back thinking, wow, I got the best answer. But you didn't give them an answer. You're actually speaking to awareness. A question always, empowers you to more and more awareness, and an answer always disempowers you to conclusion. So if you love teaching, please carry on doing that. But teach from a place of question, not from a place of answer. In fact, just today I was talking to this the manager, the what they call the kitchen manager in one of the hotels in Mumbai before I left Mumbai, because I ordered a piece of toast and coffee. It came in a dirty tray with just as 2 pieces of toast, no butter, no jam, and they went away. And I waited another 10 minutes for the butter and jam to arrive, and by that time my toast was like a stone. So the manager comes running, going, "I'm sorry, madam, I hurt my hand in an accident, and I've been trying to tell these young people because they're all new, training. He's training the staff." And I said, "Well, if you're going to tell them, they're definitely not going to listen. But what if you were going to what if you were willing to ask them a question?" He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "We'll ask them a simple question like, what would you do? How would you serve the tray? Would you, as a customer, be willing to eat something like this? What would you do differently?" So I always say teaching with a question creates far more awareness than teaching with the purpose of giving people answers. So what do you say, Nilofer? You're a facilitator too, so would you agree?
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. It's because, when you ask them a question and they come to that awareness themselves, it's theirs.
Yeah,
But if you try to tell them something, they have to fight you over it because it's your point of view, not
exactly.
theirs. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Exactly. They have to fight you over it. Exactly what I said. Yep. Okay,
Okay,
bring out the
and
question.
bring out the questions. Okay, how do you bring out the leader that is within a person?
Ah, it's not inside of you, by the way. I would love to say, oh, you know what, the leader's in you, and I can just pull it out like that. No, it doesn't work like that. You are a leader, and everything about you, the action you take, the choices you make, how much, what if you're an inspiration to yourself? How many of us inspire ourselves? We're always, maybe that's the mistake. We're always looking outside of us, looking for inspiration, looking for role models, reading autobiographies of, all these famous people, thinking that's going to inspire us to step up and be more. Maybe we're losing, the true essence of what leadership is here. I think the leadership
And
starts with your own,
and and
your
and
ship. You are the
And also, when you're looking outside of you and you're looking for people to inspire you, it's like a double-edged sword. Because when you read about a person, you also have to judge you that I'm not all of that. And for me, I think that
yes.
creates the greatest amount of contraction in your universe.
I completely agree. It's that whole, wrongness. You look for what's wrong about you because you're constantly measuring yourself against those people, right? So I've got actually a really nice process that Gary has run recently. Like, is it okay if I run that process and
Brilliant.
see
Go for
whether
it.
that
Bring on the
some things?
process.
Okay, bring on the process. Okay, so what energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to become the celebrity focal point and spokesperson for a different reality for all eternity that you truly be?
Wow.
Everything, everything doesn't allow that to show up times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Yes?
Yes.
Ooh, wow, wow. Right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shots, boys and girls. What if we all were celebrities? Okay. What if
Vanita,
we
once
all
more.
started?
Once more.
Yeah.
Once more. Once
Once more,
more.
once more. Okay, okay, okay. So what energy, space, and consciousness can your body and you be to become the celebrity focal point and spokesperson for a different reality for all eternity you truly be? And everything that doesn't allow that to show up times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all? Yes?
Yes.
Right or wrong, good and bad. Woo, pot and puck, all nine shots, boys and beyonds. Oh wow, let's run it again. What
Yes.
energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to be the celebrity focal point and spokesperson for a different reality for all eternity you truly be? And everything doesn't allow that to show up times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, yes?
Yes.
Right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and girls. And what have you made so vital about never possessing the total leadership of a different reality that keeps you in judgment of and wrongness of you for all eternity? Everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all.
Yes.
Yes? Wow, wow, ow, 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 that's like right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine. Shots, boys, and beyonds. Oh my word. Oh. What have you made so what have you made so vital about about never possessing the total leadership of a different reality that keeps you in judgment and wrongness of you for all eternity? Everything that is times a godzillion will he destroy and uncreate it all.
Yes.
Yes? Right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shots, boys and beyonds. Wow. Ooh,
Wow.
this is two good processes, guys. If you put it on a loop and keep listening to it, it might take away all that funky stuff, the stuff that you keep telling yourself that only other people are capable of being a leader of a different reality, not you. But I always say every one of us are a gift, and what if each of us willing to step up and be a leader? That's just us. It doesn't mean it has to look like something. Just be you and change the world. What if that is all it takes? So I'll run the process one more time, Nilofer. Slide.
Please, please, please.
Okay, I'll run both. I'll run both. Okay, so what have you made so vital about never possessing the total leadership of a different reality that keeps you in judgment and wrongness of you for all eternity? Everything that is times a godzillion will he destroy and uncreate it all.
Yes.
Wow, this is getting deeper, huh? Right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine. Shots, boys and beyonds. Ah, ouch. What have you made so vital by never possessing the total leadership of a different reality that keeps you in judgment and wrongness of you for all eternity? And everything that is times the godzillion will he destroy and uncreate it all. Wow. Right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shots, boys and beyonds. And what energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to become the celebrity focal point and spokesperson for a different reality for all eternity that you truly be? And everything doesn't allow that to show up times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Oh, right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shots, boys and beyonds. Oh
You
boy.
just fried everyone's brains with these two.
I fried my own, I think.
So whoever sent in that question, brilliant. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
So, okay,
So,
another one.
go for it.
So, hi dear Vanitha, I need your assistance about my home. I have been living on rent for the last 15 years. I really long for my own house, bored and tired of changing apartments every now and then. Um, I can't stay anywhere for more than 2 3 years. The agreement is just for 11 months. I've been asking what energy, space, and consciousness can me and my body be to buy a three-bedroom house with total ease and a few more questions. It's been a year I'm asking, so far nothing. I really want to enjoy this experience. I do feel everything is my home. So how do I create magic here? I like the
Wow.
question.
Okay. Yeah, okay. It's like my my friend, it's like following you in a maze with what you've just said. It's like, okay, where are you in this, in the computation of your life? So everywhere you're not in the computation of your life, and everything that you're making solid and significant about moving houses, but changing houses, and did she say changing partners as well?
No, only houses.
Only houses. Will you destroy and uncreate at all times a godzillion, please?
Yes.
Whew, right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shots, boys, miss. What if it only worked to the degree that it just worked? Which means, what if you just enjoy the hell out of where you are for the period of time where you are? What are you making so significant? I mean, at the end of the day, we make everywhere where we live, who we're with, what we're wearing, how our life is so significant that we almost miss the boat. And what I mean by miss the boat is almost like, when choices and possibilities show up, we don't see it. So what you need to do is like got to keep running like, okay, this is what you do every day. When you wake up in the morning, you're going to destroy all your projections, expectations, rejections, separation, judgments, conclusions, Everywhere that's your functional reality, right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, minutes, and keep asking a question like, what else is possible? Okay, what would it take for me to have an amazing place? It's not just running an energy, space, and consciousness process, but it's really knowing what you truly want. Have you truly asked for what you really desire, or what you're asking is just randomly showing up? That's probably what's happening here. So
And
you
then,
need to look
and
at
you're
all.
also, where are you making it really significant to own your apartment? It's like, that's
Yeah.
another place. It's like you're saying, I can receive in this way, but I can't receive in that way.
Yes. And also ask, is the time now for you to own your own apartment? And what if the apartment that, I always say to people, why don't you invite the apartment that would like to own you to show up, rather than you having a point of view that you have to own it. Gary always used to say this, like, you don't own things, things actually own you. That's why you have to go out there and earn money. So, so you need to ask a question. So, well, what would it take for the apartment that would like to own me to show up? And is now the time? And keep checking with it energetically, and keep adding. What would it take for the apartment to have the statics of living rather than the cost of it or the look of it? So, what would you like in an apartment? For me personally, I like lots of windows, a lot of natural light coming in, a place that's so energizing, a place that is a contribution that brings a lot of caring and nurturing energy for me and my body and my family. So you need to ask that for yourself. So start looking at the way you're framing your questions, and then I hope that would start you off in a different way or path.
Another one. I keep
Yes, please.
creating, I keep creating a life through other people only. Most of everything I get is that way. I don't seem to break this pattern. It's as if no matter how amazingly magical I am in what I do and be, things that is money, home, food, etc., come to me through others. I'm in wonderful condition too. So how do I change it? What is happening here? How do I be the leader of my creation? Receiving from others
Mm,
is good, but I would like to receive directly too. That way
okay.
somewhere feels dependent and limits me.
Okay, so what if you're a leader of receiving? What if you're a leader receiving? I mean, where have you made it so significant? That's amazing. I mean, I always get questions about people not receiving. Here you go, you're receiving so much that people want to contribute to you. So, are you truly receiving here? Or are you making it so significant? And is it about, everything that you have been using as your functional reality, will you now destroy and uncreate it all? And standards of judgment. Wow, that's coming up. Wow, right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and men. So look at what your standards of judgment is. At the end of the day, it's just choice, my dear. It's a matter of just choosing what's going to work for you, what you would like to create as your life. And if it's fun for you to receive from others, I'll say, why not? Why make it so significant? Enjoy the hell out of it, right, Nilofer? Don't you think?
I'm absolutely. I'm like, you're receiving what more do you want? And again,
Oh,
it's that thing. I don't want to rent. I want to buy, and it's like, the other place I really see people constrict themselves is they go to this place of it has to show up by this time. And if it
yeah.
doesn't show up by that time, they have to judge that it's not happening. And what if, it was that moment, at which the next moment it was going to actualize in your universe, and just the moment before you went, it's not showing up, and you've just, killed that whole process. So
Yeah.
it's really, yeah, what will it take for you to choose something different? And I remember Gary talk about something once. He said, I never take no. And he says, no matter what it is, and even if it's not happening in the moment, I'm continuously asking for it to change. So what if you could be that? And what if you could be in that
Yeah.
energy of what else is possible? always.
Yeah, guys, and yeah, exactly. And instead of actually contracting yourself, why don't you expand yourself? So you expand the energy space and consciousness of your receiving more. I keep asking what else is possible? What else, that can be a contribution to you? And how can you be a contribution back? I mean, being a leader, you are a leader because people will not contribute to you if you're not a leader, because unless they see you, they won't be contributing to you. So where you decided and concluded you're not a leader, and everywhere you have, will you destroy and uncreate that times a godzillion, please? Right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine. Wow, shots, boys, and beyonds.
And then,
There
if
you
you're
go.
also,
Maybe that's the place.
and also if you're aware of that energy of magic that you're creating where others are contributing to you, where else can you use that energy? Where else? Where else?
Yeah,
Where else?
exactly. Where else? Where else? What else? What else? Who else? Who else? How else? How else? Who, what, where? Okay, so who, what, where, when, why, how you are you not willing to ask more? Everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and create it all. Right or
Yeah.
wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shows, boys, men. So what magic, so what have you made so vital about magic that is not, that you're unwilling to be so magical, so potent, and just enjoy the hell out of it. And everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all.
Yeah.
Yes? Right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, online shots, boys, men. Sometimes it's just the willingness to choose. What if being a leader begins with choice? What is not about all the processing? It's just choice. Okay,
Yeah.
I am going to, and a demand, a choice and a demand. So if you make the choice and make the demand that no matter what it takes, I'm stepping up and being me and enjoying the hell out of me and enjoying the creation of me and enjoying creating everything that's going to keep adding to my life and a contribution to my life. And I'm not at all, discounting anyone else, and I'm including everyone else. So you're not creating followers, you're also inviting people to say, come along, let's have some fun. What if that's what leadership is? How
Hmm.
does it get any better than that?
How does it? How does it? So this has been brilliant, Vanitha, and like especially those two clearing. Oh my God, I can just feel the energy running even now through those.
Yeah.
So, what is, you know, what are some last things that you want to share with our listeners? What do
Oh,
you know
last
about
things
leaders?
last.
What do you know about leadership that nobody else knows?
To be honest, I think that we are at a time where every one of us have got a job to do. So fire yourself from all the other jobs, okay? And it's not a doing, but it's a matter of being. And the willingness to be, no matter what it takes, to be the invitation to step up and embrace the greatness of our embodiment. Because the more we embrace the greatness of our embodiment, the magic we step into, the more magical we become, the more courage and inspiration, and we inspire courage in everyone else. And instead of just one person's voice having to, create a different reality, there's the kingdom of we, voices from the kingdom of we, is creating a different reality. And I think the planet requires that. And I reckon that's why we're here. We're here to inspire, to create, and to choose, and to be. What if that's all it takes? What do you know?
Mm,
What do you
mm,
all
mm.
know?
Yeah. So Vanita, before we actually come to an end, you've actually created a brilliant package for our listeners. And
Oh, good.
can you talk about that?
Okay, so you're gonna have to help me out here because I always got CRS, and it was like so 10 seconds ago that I sent it to you, Nilüfer. So, okay, I think I.
Yeah. So you've actually included three classes that you've done, and the first one is getting clarity on life and relationship.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that was a class that I do in a that I did on a monthly basis in Malaysia. We have this clarity evenings where we kind of do a free form class, and this is one of the best ones because this was on relationship, and it happened on Valentine's Day. And so this whole the processes there are looking at where we've made relationship really significant. And the way I put this package together, it's about clearing all the places that actually um, doesn't create the leader in you, because when you are willing to be the leader, you do not make any relationship significant. You don't hold on to what's not working. You're willing to just be in allowance and have a very different point of view and have a completely different reality with relationship becomes about contribution and choice and fun and possibilities and a hell of a lot of questions. So I hope you enjoy the hell out of listening to that, because by God, I tell you, I had people who had to detox for 2 days as a result of being in that class. So you know me, right? I like to fry people. So I chose the classes that would fry you guys out there. So if you're daring enough and you want to step into my world, well, get the package. Honestly, it will really, really work on stuff for you. And I think the next one was Live by Design, Not by Default. It's one of my favorite classes that I did, and it was inspired by one of the Access peeps in Malaysia who called me 1 o'clock in the morning and said, "Hey, why don't you do this class called Live by Design, Not by Default?" Because I just got that. So I was like, wow, okay, why not? And so we begin to learn how much we've created life based on a script rather than having the adventure of discovery. So in a nutshell, that whole class was about, instead of living life from default, what if you could design it? And you can change it because you're the designer of your life. And you can add lots of colors, and you can make it merry, and you can have, magic in every moment. So it was one of the amazing classes we did in terms of, stepping up and being seen and being heard, and really taking control of your own life. So that was that one.
And then there's the last one, which is Leader in Today's World.
Yeah, that was the class that I did as part of the level 2 and 3 class with Gary last year, and it was a really good class in the sense it starts you off in the path of clearing all the kind of obstacles and things that's in your way in becoming a leader. So the whole class, it really gets you on the track. So there are a lot of clearings in that class. So if you're willing to listen to all this, I didn't want to do a huge package for you guys because I thought you have some amazing facilitators, you have some amazing packages. So I wanted to just give you 3 really good classes that starts you off on the right track and just gets rid of a lot of the junk in your world. So yeah.
Awesome. So once again, don't get the package if you want to change. Definitely, that's not for you.
And watch out for my book. I wanted to inspire myself to finish my book, Nilofer. So I have to finish this book on leadership that I'm writing right now. So do watch out for it when it comes out. I'm hoping that it will come out by the end of the year. So I'm going to kick my in the ass to get the book out. So there you go.
What would it take? Awesome.
What would it take?
Thank you so much, Vanitha. This has been just brilliant, and we can to hear the echo. And I want to invite you because we have the amazing Steve and Chitisa Bowman on Thursday evening US time and Friday morning India, Australia, UAE time. Oh my God, they're amazing, and I just can't wait to talk to them.
Can I just say something about Chitisa and Stephen Bauman? Their book, the book which is called Conscious Leadership, was basically my Bible before I came to Access. I was going through a very hard period in my work, and I was managing a whole national organization. And every day I would pick up that book and I read everything there and inspired myself to manage my staff very differently. and I really adore those guys. They are so phenomenal, and I think that they're definitely changing the perspective on leadership in organizations and at corporate level. And don't miss out, because they inspired me to look at my life very differently, and they're very generous people. So spend some time to get on the call with them in Nilofer and get more of what we're talking about, because I might just be an introduction to what they're talking, and I just get that as an awareness as well. So
Yeah, that's so
how does it
brilliant,
impact
isn't it?
that?
I mean, you're talking about leadership today, and then leadership is a moment coming in.
Yeah,
Oh,
I thought it was brilliant what you did that. I was like, whoa, I get to open the doors and introduce Steve and Chinese empowerment. Wow, how cool is that? Yeah, amazing people. And they've written some amazing books as well, right, Nilofer? So do get a hold of their books. I mean, it's really inspiring. Yep.
yeah, yeah. My mom, she loves their books, so she's got it like a Bible, and she like reads a page every single day from their books.
Oh,
So amazing. So once
amazing.
again, thank you so much, Vanita. It's been so brilliant having you on the call. And thank you everyone for hanging out with us, and also for
Yeah.
sending us your brilliant questions. And
Thank you. Yeah.
I know there's not enough time between now and the interview with the Baumans. So I'm going to be updating the event page really soon. So if you have any questions you would like to send to the Baumans, you can send in your questions. Just refresh the page after 10 minutes, and then you can send in the questions there. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Vanita. This
And
is brilliant.
and thank you, Nilo, for inviting me and giving me this platform to talk about my favorite subject. And I'm so grateful for all the questions that showed up, and for all of you guys who took time out to be with Nilofer and I. And if you're not here and you hear us later on, you know, feel free to email me or contact Nilofer if you have any questions that I can further help you guys with. I'm more than happy to. So thanks, Nilofer. See
Thanks,
you later,
everyone.
and I'll see
Bye.
you in
See you
Mumbai.
later.
Okay,
See you.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.